Hello and welcome to another episode of the Would You Will. We've been gone for a little bit. We took a little break, but we're back. And again, I have the seats mixed up. I like to sit in the guest seat, as you can see, and I like to put our guest in the host seat. So take it away, CupKink. Go ahead and do the show.
No.
Anyway, welcome. We have tonight with us the very lovely Miss CupKink, who is a friend of one of our resident hosts, Mr. Shep. Why don't you tell us about yourself a little bit?
CupKink's the name. I'm just local around the Charlotte area, and on my TikTok and Instagram, I'm a pole dancer, cosplay, kink positive, body positive person.
You sound like you're a very positive person, and I'm into that. I like positivity.
Yeah. Bubbly, if you can't already tell.
See, that's something me and you have in common. I have been called bubbly many times, both about my weight and my personality. So I'm pretty happy with both.
Yeah, I mean, I get the bubbly comments about the body too, so we're in that same boat.
I like it. All right, you ready for your first wheel? Of course, we're going to spin the wheel, and then we're going to ask you, would you, have you, what do you think?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Oh, this is a good one to start out on. I think we can all a little agree on that. It's impact play. Mr. Shep's professional fetish. He loves this one.
He does, and I am a fan of it as well.
So I'm going to go ahead and check that for would.
Absolutely would do again.
Absolutely. So, well, then let me ask you this. What got you started in it?
I honestly don't remember what got it started. I've always known that I was into certain things, this being one of them. I mean, from a teenage age. Spanking was probably the first impact that I ever got into, and then branched out from there as I found out about paddles and floggers and all those other fun things.
I will say, this sounds horrible, but spanking is absolutely the intro to impact play because, and I don't mean it's from childhood, I meant like, when you're a couple and that's like the first quote unquote naughty thing you do.
Right.
It's usually before you do any fetish stuff. If you and your partner, when you're young and you're like, first hooking up and you guys have no idea what you're doing, spanking is just like the easy go-to of, I know what I'm doing tonight. Spanking my girlfriend or being spanked.
Right.
So, but yeah, and if you guys want to check out our impact play episode, which is a really good one, Shep was amazing in that one. It was episode 13, so
he really was.
That was such a good episode.
It was. That's one of my favorites.
Let's see. Let's give that wheel another spinny too. I love this wheel because you never know what's going to. It has its mind of its own.
It's exciting.
Transformation. Now, if you're not familiar with this, I can explain it because this is kind of a doozy. Mm-hmm. This is like the fetish where either yourself or your partner transform into another object or person. Imagine like werewolves. Except maybe not like an actual werewolf, but like they transform into sometimes it's furniture, sometimes it's clothing items, sometimes it is furries. It's changing fur. Sometimes it's changing gender. And I don't mean like I am coming out like I'm trans, but like my body actually magically or by science grew breast, lost a penis, or gained a penis and lost my breast, depending. Either way, I'm keeping the same breast I have, so it works. Is this something you've ever heard of before, right this minute?
I've heard of it before. I learned more about it when y'all talked about it in your episode. It's not something I've done with a partner. I'd probably be open to it because I do love to dress up and cosplay and all those things. But I've never done it in a kink fetish kind of fashion. So yeah. I would be open to it. Just haven't done it.
Yeah. The one thing I love about this fetish, and with a lot of fetishes, this one requires a certain level of imagination and creativity. And I love that. It's like you're just mixing fun with more fun. It's like put everything in the fun pot and mix it together, which is
Right.
also a fetish, I think. So, yeah, and if you want to check out that one, I think that was episode 12. Our wheel has a mind of its own. Sometimes it goes sequentially. Sometimes it will go in order of where you get the kink. Like, I think one time we had it, and they were all, like, the same kind of kink, even though they weren't the same episode, like, near episodes. It was just very, very weird. So, we'll do one more spin for our YouTube audience, and then we're going to switch over to what I like to call the bonus spins, where we're going to have all the fun. All right, here we go. I said, here we go, here we go, here we go again. This is a doozy of a one.
Uh-oh.
Quicksand. Now, do you need did you listen to that episode, or do you need an explanation?
I did listen to the episode. Go ahead and give another explanation of it, though. It's been a while.
It's okay. It's pretty much you're in a Tarzan movie. You're lost in the jungle. Wham bam, you're in quicksand. Or you're watching somebody. You are the fly on the wall. The monkey's going, sucker. But either way, it deals with that type of peril fetish. So this is definitely a tricky one.
Yeah, it's nothing I've ever considered before. So when I was listening to y'all's episode, I was kind of like going, would I? I mean, I don't know, honestly. Like, it doesn't press any buttons for me just thinking about it. But if the scenario was presented, I would probably try it just to say I've tried it and figure it out if I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have found that with other fetishes on here, because, like, I mean, this one particularly is one of mine, but, like, other fetishes on here, I'm like, it doesn't do anything for me, and, like, I'm not excited to try it, but I would. Oh,
Right.
you know, if my partner was just like, hey, I want to do this, I'd be like, well, okay, yeah.
Sure, yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it. How do we do that? And let's give it a try.
Absolutely. And I think that was, like, our 8th episode.
It was early.
It was pretty early. Back when we were still learning our stuff. I was right. It was 8. It was episode 8. So
That's awesome.
see, I told you the wheel gets crazy. It's just like we're gonna do back-to-back episodes and that. So that is for us for YouTube. If you enjoyed this episode, you can travel to our Patreon. The link is down below, and see the full episode. Because we're gonna do 3 more spin wheels. If this is where you end your journey. Ms. CupKink, you have been an excellent guest / host, because you're in the host seat. And absolutely check her out on TikTok and Instagram. I follow you on both, and I got to say, they're both freaking awesome.
Thank you.
And please continue listening to our podcast. All right, now it's time for the bonus spins. Usually our bonus spins are crazy. Because that's what our wheel likes to do. So let's see where we get with it.
I'm nervous.
Oh no, this is the cheeky one. It's tickling.
Oh God.
Another one of those where you don't necessarily think of it being a sexual fetish.
Right. And it's not a sexual thing for me. Tickling turns into wrestling, which can sometimes turn into more fun things, but for me, tickling, I tend to get violent at a certain point.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now. You're not the first person on this show to have that response to that. We did an episode that we're gonna have to refilm with Vera Knight, and she's like, "I will fight you."
So yeah, like it's reflexive violence when I'm tickled. So it's not that I'm intentionally going, "I'm gonna fight you if you try and tickle me." It's I'll play along, and because I enjoy it, it's fun. I laugh, you laugh, whatever. But then at some point, I'm gonna kick or hit you, and
I laugh. I laugh, you laugh, then we bare knuckle box.
Yeah, exactly.
No, and you know I can see that. It's one of the things I could never be tickled in a sexual way, because no one's gonna want to have sex after that, because I laugh like this. I lose all masculinity, and not in a good way. Like not even a, I'm gonna ladyfy up. You're just like, oh, you're like a child. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not into children, so bye.
Right.
But I can honestly see how this would be a really fun fetish to do. This was episode 14. It's very much tortury
Yes.
and cheeky.
Yeah.
And or it's also one of those fetishes that, yeah, it can be playful that leads to other things, like a very flirtatious fetish that, like you said, leads to wrestling, which is another fetish on our wheel. So
Yeah.
who knows? We might hit it. That's what our wheel does. It goes, oh, you guys are talking about wrestling? Cool, that's your next spin.
Right.
Stuck. So this is like what I call the meme fetish, because it became like the meme of like my stepsister stuck in a dryer. But then as we researched it, it's so much more. Like we're talking rat traps, like glue traps, like the fly, like imagine like the fly trap. But also I am putting stuff in the dryer. Oops, I got stuck. My butt's hanging out. Whatever shall I do? Whatever shall happen to me.
Like I've of course seen the porn and related videos to stuck, but it's not something I would probably like. It's another one that doesn't press any buttons, but if my partner wanted to, then absolutely I'd be all down for it, because I get off on the fact that my partner enjoys it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. This is one of those fetishes I'm like, I could get into that.
Right.
Some of these scenarios are really weird though. Like I would find them more comical than sexy. Because as someone who's actually gotten stuck places, it's not flattering. Okay, I have, I think I got stuck the other day trying to reach behind my car seat, and then my hand was stuck. And I'm like,
it's not, and I make all sorts of unattractive noises when I'm stuck in things.
Yeah,
it's just not.
This is definitely a role play heavy, and you got to go into it. I'm like, don't laugh, don't make it silly, don't make it silly. Unless you want silly, because sometimes silly's where it's at. All right, we're gonna do one more spin. You have been a great guest, by the way. It's been a lot of fun.
I've really enjoyed this.
We're gonna bring you back then, because
awesome.
I need a lot of these episodes, and it's hard to get people to come on here and just willingly talk about their kinks. It's crazy.
I love it.
I know, right?
I've made jokes about it because, like, since I've created my TikTok, I've been slowly coming out more and more openly about being kinky and fetishes and things like that, and openly talking about them with people, and it's just become a really great thing. Like, a clothing company reached out to me, Fetish Threads, to do a brand ambassador for them, and that was really cool. Like, so now I've got like awesome. Clothing that literally says Fetish Threads across it and things like that.
That is cool. So check out Fetish Threads. I guess send me a link and we'll put it in our description. Run underneath our merch store, where you can also get really cool fetish gear. And by fetish gear, I mean t-shirts.
Right, t-shirts.
T-shirts that say fetish on them. All right, so let's do one more spin. It's funny, I use TikTok to show off my awkwardness. All my TikToks are usually like very awkward. Oh, we almost had the perfect one, but we're ending on autoerotic asphyxiation or breath play.
Ooh, so that's a big yes for me.
All right, see that you know what? That's how we end. We end on a bang.
Right.
Oh, we started with one that was a yes, and we ended with one on a yes. So I like it.
Right. All the ones in between were kind of just like, yeah, I'm open to. But these are impact play and breath play are like hard yeses for me. I'm a sub, so I'm extremely submissive, and I enjoy that giving up of control with impact play, breath play, and things like that. And that's like an ultimate release if breath play is involved.
Absolutely. I'm always scared with this one. I like the idea of it, but I'm also like one of those people who like, am I willingly prepared to resuscitate somebody?
Right.
because I'm like, oh, I'll go a little bit. I like a little choky, but I have known some people who are like, no, I want to be borderline unconscious, if not
Right.
just until I go limp. And I'm like, nope,
No, no, I don't want to go that
no,
far.
yeah,
Like
because
making
like,
gas and things like that, yeah, absolutely. But to go unconscious or limp, that's a little far.
yeah. So, and again with this one, always practice safety, kink responsibly.
Yes.
Know what you're doing. Listen to that episode. That episode I do believe was that was a recent episode. It was episode 24. Breath. Shep was amazing on that episode because Shep knew all the stuff. There's actually a bonus version of this episode on our Patreon that we recorded in person.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the audio is kind of bad. That's why we didn't release it publicly. So if you want to hear this and you're on Patreon, that means I have to release this episode to everyone so they can hear that they can get the bonus episode on Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
But it is an in-person episode. Me, Shep, and Rebecca. It was when Rebecca was in town for business. And we were like, okay, we've all safetied up. We've all been tested negative. Let's get in the same room and record it. That
That's
podcast
awesome.
was absolute chaos and just laughed like crazy. That was a really good episode, but then the audio was bad, so we couldn't do it. Like I was like, oh, we can't release this. We have to re-record it.
That sucks.
So.
I think Shep was telling me about that at one of the get-togethers we were at, and it was that he was telling me it was like it was so great and so authentic, but then we had to go and re-record it.
And I hate that, but I was just like, the quality degrade in it because it was the first time we'd ever recorded in-house, and the test sounded good, but then something happened during. I'm like, can't release it. And unfortunately, we couldn't all get back together because Rebecca does not live in the state. So, anyway, right. I hope you enjoyed watching us, Miss CupKink. I hope you enjoyed being here. It was so much fun having you.
Fantastic! I loved this so much. Thank you all so much for thinking of me.
Oh, absolutely. I know Shep has been like nonstop. Like we gotta get CupKink on there. We gotta get CupKink on there. She's gonna be great to have on there. I'm like, I will. I promise. And that means we're definitely gonna bring you back too because this episode's gonna hit. And people are gonna be like, yeah, bring back the CupKink. She was awesome.
Bring back the blonde.
Bring back the blonde. She was so much better than the host. And I'm like, yeah, right. I don't know how they make me host this. I told Shep he should host it, but he was like, I'm not doing that.
No.
He just said, nah, I ain't doing that.
No, you do it.
Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Check out our Patreon because apparently this episode's going full live for everyone. So you know to go to Patreon to see the bonus episode. And Miss CupKink, thank you again. Check out her TikTok and her Instagram. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. It's much cooler than our content. And I mean that like wholeheartedly. It is awesome. And we will see you next time. Bye.